Hey YouTube. Okay, we're at video number 9 and 10 of the Big Steel Tent series. These two videos, I'm not going to do an intro for video number 10. These two videos talk about the long distance trip I took from Texas to New Hampshire and back. Take care of some personal business and visit family. Where I tested all of the assumptions and all of the equipment I had loaded into the Big Steel Tent. Okay, and it's this trip that sets up the construction of the Big Steel Tent as it is today. Okay, where we will be on video number 14 when I show the latest iteration of the Big Steel Tent, how we're going to take it to Sean Dyer's squirrel hunting camp up in Ohio. Okay? Let's take a look. Hey there, YouTube. In case you hadn't noticed, we're not in the cabin. We're on our way to New Hampshire. What we're going to do is we are going to do practical application of all of the testing and the assumptions I've made in the past few videos about getting the power and getting this thing as an operational base, particularly for long distance travel, which is what we're going to do now. Now, some of you may remember that one of the problems I was having was the discharge, the maintenance discharge, that the Delta, the EcoFlow Delta, was using overnight and over a couple of days, reducing my power by as much as 20% or more. One of the things I discovered, and I'll show it to you here in a minute, was there was a button I should have pushed, something I should have turned off. One of the things you got to remember with these power stations is when you're going to be at rest, when you're not going to be using it, make sure all of the buttons are off because, well, we'll tell you about it when we get in here. The thing I got that does double duty, that not only solves that problem, but solves another one, I'll show you here in a minute, but the central component of that is this 100-watt solar panel. Now, this is something like most of the things in the Big Steel Tent that I already had here at my palatial suburban estate for hurricane preparation. This is a 100-watt Renogy folding panel that I had previously used in the Big Steel Tent. It was just too big and bulky to use inside. But seeing as how I needed to have a power supply to make up for the maintenance discharge in the Delta, I said, okay, well, I'll permanently attach it to the roof. And the way I did that was I just got an angle iron so that because it's foldable, it was bending in the middle. I got this piece of angle iron to keep it rigid, and then I got these 4 adjustable blocks. I call them clamshell mounts. It grabs a hold of your cross pieces on the roof rack and holds it pretty tight. Zip tied the wires down, and the wire goes through and into the back of the SUV here. Let me go around to the side and show you what it looks like back there. Okay, so the line from the solar panel comes down here. I will likely attach it somehow, but it just comes around my little cabinet here and plugs in to the back of the Delta, delivering power to it. Through the testing I've made this week, this thing will not only replace the overnight maintenance charge, but it will also power the cooler. Right now that cooler is set, let me rotate you down a little bit so you can see that. We'll talk about the cooler here. Okay, so the cooler is hooked up. Right now it's reading 30 degrees. And any power that is using right now is coming out of the Delta. It's plugged into the 12-volt cigarette lighter port in the back of the Delta. Any power that is using during the daylight is coming from the solar panel. It's going through, we're doing what's called pass-through power. It's going through the Delta. But the Delta right now is receiving more power than it needs to power the cooler. It's a wonderful thing. In the testing I've done, in the morning, we're running about 84–85% of power, which means we drain about 14% of the power overnight from the maintenance charge and running the cooler. And by 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a bright sunny day, we get every bit of that power back. That is a beautiful, magnificent thing. Now, I did add in a propane stove, and I've got some propane bottles for it. And as you can see, we are chock full of food for 8 days worth of travel. Got a little bit of leftover bread, got a bunch of little instant lunches, coffee, Pop-Tarts, all sorts of stuff. It's all backpacking food. Most of the time, all I'm going to need to do is boil water. But I did get this little cook set from Academy so that I can use the propane stove when appropriate. Yeah, we'll just leave that hanging there. Right now, this little Alpicool, I've got it set at about 34 degrees. It's down to 31 now. And it will get as high as 38. The reason why this thing uses so much power is it is incredibly well insulated, and the only time it uses power is when the compressor kicks on after it detects that the temperature has gotten above 35 degrees. Folding table, got my backpacking chair, my walking sticks. Right now I just got a box for my forks, knives, and spoons. You've seen my little cabinet over here. Let's move this over just a little bit so we can see it. These bowls are pretty much all I need. These come from microwave dinners. It isn't that I eat these every day. This is 10 years worth of bowls. Got my little Dash grills here. My Joule behind that is my propane fuel. And I've got my little alcohol wipes. So we're ready to go. Okay, we'll take you into the rear compartment here. My laptop table. Let me move some of these clothes out of the way. Right now it's almost 70 degrees in Texas, but I know where I'm going. It'll be somewhat less than that. Okay, so let me turn it on. And if we're at 94% power, we've used a little bit. It was at 99 a while ago. And let me just show you the button. Can you see that? Where I pushed it? That will turn the USB power cable on. If I'm running, if I'm charging the phone or something like that, I'll do it from here. I had left that on. And that not only does the power from the indicator light, but it also powers the software and things that convert the power from the battery to the USB. And that's what was draining most of my power for the maintenance charge. So we're good there. Okay, let's see. The Starlink is on. The little blue light is on. That means I can plug in the navigation, load the dog in the car, and get this wagon train on the trail. We'll see you in a while. Okay, well, we're mid-trip first day, and some things have happened. First off, this happened. Yes, my phone has been hanging off of my rearview mirror so that I can see it while I'm driving, and last night I was fiddling with it and the mirror came off the windshield. So now I can't see my phone while I'm driving, and I was able to get some tape from my brother to tape it up to the windshield so I can at least go like that and see out the back. We will fix that when we get to New Hampshire. The other thing is I plugged in the wrong input and ran myself out of power in the BST09, the one that runs the Starlink. The great thing about the way we've got things set up, though, is I now have options. First off, I use the Starlink while driving so that I don't have to use data on the phone. Now I just use data on the phone. So I'm still getting my navigation. And I've plugged in the right thing, so now the BST09 is getting charged up. It should be charged by the time I reach my destination. I am running the phone, keeping the phone charged by plugging it into the Delta, which is operating magnificently using the 100-watt solar panel on the top of the vehicle. It's keeping it up close to 100%. I have no worries there. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is when I get back to the truck, I'm going to plug in the laptop and recharge it. So we'll keep that running while we're on the road as well. So we're doing good, except I spent the night at my brother's lake house last night. Rather than go to Texarkana and spend the night in the Texas Welcome Center parking lot there, which I've done before, I thought it might be a bit more comfortable. In retrospect, I did end up, I was neither more nor less comfortable, and I had a very pleasant conversation with my brother while I was there. It's always good to see family. But it took me a little bit further out of my way than I thought it might, and sitting around slapjawing with my brother got me leaving his place a little later than I wanted to. So I'm changing my itinerary, which is why the laptop is here. I went to Overlander and looked for some sites. When I parked here for lunch, I am in Social Hill, Arkansas, by the way, on I-40. When I parked here, I was still 8 hours away from my destination. I was going to get there around 8 o'clock, which is unacceptable. I don't want to drive at night on strange highways. But I went to Overlander and I found a primitive campsite right off of I-40 that is about 5.5 hours away from here. So I will be able to pull in, have some daylight, have time to set up and have a cup of coffee and let the dog pee in the woods and that kind of thing. It may throw me into West Virginia a little late. I may have to visit with Jay Hercules on the way back. We're going to reevaluate that once we get to the campsite this evening. So anyway, we'll see you after a while. Well, we are here, bedded down for the night in the Cracker Barrel in East Memphis, Tennessee. I finally gave up around 5 o'clock, said let's pull this puppy over. Got myself a nice meatloaf dinner in there at Cracker Barrel, so that's a big plus. What I'm going to try to do is get to bed early tonight and get up early tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to make West Virginia to Wheeling, West Virginia in time tomorrow, so I think I'm going to call Jay Hercules here in a second and let him know that I will see him on Friday. I've already told my mother I won't be home until Sunday. But I'm sitting here with the computer. I'm using Cracker Barrel's internet, so I'm not using any of the power for the Starlink. I'm not using any of those minutes, so I'm just a happy puppy. And I might go ahead and edit today's video, get it ready for release sometime in the next couple of days. So in the meantime, we'll see you down the trail.